Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Concord Motorsports Park in Concord, North Carolina. I'm Aaron Johnson with the Johnson iRacing team, bringing you today's feature race. It's going to be 40 fast laps on the half-mile high banks at Concord. Let's have a look at the starting lineup. Starting in the 11th spot in car number 9, it's Cameron McHone. Cameron from Asheville, North Carolina, in the Columbia DoorDash car. He's going to show up on your screen as car 23, but in your telemetry, he'll show up as car number 9. Starting in the 10th spot in car number 8, he's going to start from the pits because he didn't make the starting grid in time. That's Trenton Dickinson in the Support, Educate, Advocate, Love car, Trenton racing out of the Northwest. Starting 9th in car number 6, it's Vincenzo Saracino from Florida. In the 8th starting spot in car number 7, racing with us out of the Carolinas region in the light beer from Miller car, that is Ian Franklin. In the 7th starting spot, in car number 4, that's the Buckeye Bandit, JiRT McKinney, Jared out of Chillicothe, Ohio. Now, your top 6 starters. Starting in the 6th spot in car number 3, racing out of the Midwest region, that is John Gow. Starting 5th in car number 5, racing out of California, that's the Van Halen Legends car of Danny J. Starting 4th in car number 12, racing out of New York in the Jegs Wrangler Legends car, that's Matt McAfee. Starting 3rd in car number 2, he races out of the Virginias region, that's out of Lynchburg, Virginia, that will be Sean McEwen. Starting 2nd in car number 11, racing out of the Great Plains region, that's the Dirty Mo Legends car of Jeff Nene. And on the pole in car number 1, it's the Big Johnson Legends car of Stephen Harry, Stephen racing out of Georgia. The pace car leads the field through the through turn 1 and into the dogleg. This is 40 laps, high banks here at Concord, lots of excitement. The pace car is in, the green flag is out, and it looks like Stephen Harry will lead them on through and hammer the throttle. Stephen Harry going to take a quick early lead, and it looks like the 2 of Sean McEwen is going to jump into the 2nd position. A little bit of action there. Looks like somebody went around. Couldn't tell for sure who that was. A yellow car might have been Ian Franklin maybe. Hard to say for sure. Out front, it is still the 1 of Stephen Harry. Harry runs out front, rolls down into turn number 3. We're going to call these turns 1, 2, and 3. Concord kind of a triangular track. Stephen Harry leads. Sean McEwen is 2nd. Danny J's moved into 3rd. Matt McAfee 4th, with JiRT McKinney now having moved up into the top 5. Ian Franklin is in 6th. John Gow 7th. Looks like it was Jeff Nene that had the issue and has dropped back to 9th. Out front, it is Stephen Harry with the lead. Harry leading by about 1.3 seconds over the 2nd place car of Sean McEwen. Harry through turn 1, now into turn number 2. 2, a big wide sweeping turn. 3, very high banked. Harry sort of lets that car drift down, then back out against the wall. The fast way here is to get close to the yellow line in the turns and then right up against the wall in the straightaways. Carry as much momentum as you possibly can as you get out of turn number 3 and back toward the front straight. Stephen Harry leads in that Big Johnson Legends car. He's closing in on some lap traffic. That looks like the 6 of Vincenzo Saracino. Saracino currently sits in the 11th spot. He's getting ready to go a lap down to Stephen Harry. Harry pulling away from the rest of the field. It's Harry, McEwen, Jay, McAfee, and McKinney, the top 5. Let's walk through the field here on lap number 7 of 40 and have a look at where everyone is running on the racetrack. The next car behind Stephen Harry is the lapped car, the number 6 of Vincenzo Saracino. Then behind Saracino, that is the 2 of Sean McEwen. McEwen currently being shown in the 2nd spot. Behind McEwen, that is Danny J in car number 5. J currently riding in the 3rd spot. Behind Danny J, that is the 12 of Matt McAfee. And right now, the Buckeye Bandit, JiRT McKinney, turns to the inside of Matt McAfee. McKinney is going to take the 4th spot. And it looks like there's a spin. That might be Sean McEwen. McEwen looks like he may have spun. That'll move JiRT McKinney up to 3rd. The 12 of Matt McAfee in 4th. And just behind McAfee That's the 3 of John Gow. John Gow going by McAfee to slip into that 4th spot. Behind McAfee, the next car on the speedway, the 23, that's the 9 of Cameron McCone. He's currently moved into the 7th spot. Behind McCone, that would be the 7 of Ian Franklin. Franklin being shown in the 7th position. Then behind Franklin on the speedway, that's the 2 of Sean McEwen. McEwen had that spin earlier. That's dropped him back to 8th. Behind McEwen, it's the 11 of Jeff Nene. Nene currently in 9th. And then behind Nene, the 8 of Trenton Dickinson. Dickinson in 10th, the last car on the lead lap. Behind Dickinson, we're back to the lead car. That is Stephen Harry. Harry leads lap 12 of 40 now. Stephen Harry's led every lap of this race. He's pulled out to a fairly sizable lead, about 3.8 seconds ahead of the second place car of Danny J. Just behind Danny J, that's Jared McKinney, currently being shown in 3rd. McKinney about a second behind Danny J. It's Harry, J, McKinney, Gow, McAfee, the top 5. Then McCone, McEwen, Franklin, Nene, and Dickinson rounding out the top 10. Vincenzo Saraceno currently shown in the 11th spot, 2 laps down, as we watch Stephen Harry work past the lapped car. That's the 8 of Trenton Dickinson. Dickinson now the first car on the lead lap. We are 14 laps into a 40-lap feature at Concord, and Stephen Harry is pulling away from the rest of the field. Stephen Harry rolls the car through turn number 1, now into that short chute before he gets to turn 2 on the back straightaway. Out of 2 and into turn number 3. That's a steeply banked corner, a large sweeping turn. Very easy to get out of shape coming off of 3 here. You get onto the throttle in the wrong spot, and it's very easy to turn a car around as you come off of 3. The other thing that's easy to do, if you get in and out of that corner on the wrong line, you can make your own car push. And then you'll push up and tap that outside wall. You'll have the wheels turn pretty tightly as you tap the wall, and that'll throw your car into the inside wall. So turn 3, sort of a treacherous corner here at Concord Motorsports Park. We are on lap number 17 of 40. Stephen Harry leads, Danny J second. Looks like the Buckeye Bandit, Jared McKinney, is closing in on Danny J. He's knocked that gap down to about 4 car lengths. We're going to watch this race just a little bit and see if Jared McKinney is going to be able to close in on Danny J. McKinney seems to be a little bit quicker than Danny J. He is closing yet again, now to about 3 car lengths. Jared McKinney closing on Danny J. McKinney's in the 3rd spot. J holds on to position number 2 right now. Stephen Harry running away with this race. There's soon to be a battle between Danny J. and Jared McKinney. McKinney closing on Danny J. We are on lap number 19 of 40. Jared McKinney trying to make a race of things here as there's another spin. Looks like maybe McEwen went around again. That is the 3 of John Gow. Looks like perhaps John Gow's gone around. Hard to tell exactly what car that was, but someone has gone around backward, and another spin. That looks like the 6 of Vincenzo Saraceno. Vincenzo spinning as Jared McKinney now has caught the 5 of Danny J. McKinney trying to find a way to get around the 5 car. That's Eddie Van Halen on the back. McKinney nice and low out of turn number 3. Now looks to the high side going into turn 1. McKinney following the 5 of Danny J. McKinney a little bit lower again. J tags the wall. McKinney putting some pressure on him, and that's going to allow Jared McKinney to get by. Sometimes the best way to get around someone is to just put some pressure on them and wait for them to make a mistake. That's what happened here as Jared McKinney began to put the pressure on Danny J, and Danny J tagged that outside wall coming out of 3, and that threw his car down into the inside lane and allowed Jared McKinney to go by. Let's go back out front with the leader, Stephen Harry, with a big lead, leading by about 4.5 seconds over the 4 of Jared McKinney. McKinney having a nice run, as is Danny J, but it is all Stephen Harry. Harry running a nice smooth race, allowing that car to roll through the turns and then rolling into the throttle. No mistakes by Stephen Harry. There are 16 laps to go here at Concord Motorsports Park. Stephen Harry in the Big Johnson Legends car running a smooth race and dominating at Concord. Let's walk through the field one more time. Behind Stephen Harry on the racetrack, the next car is the 4 of Jared McKinney. McKinney currently being shown in the 2nd spot. about 5 seconds, about 3 seconds behind. Behind McKinney, that's the 5 of Danny J. Danny J currently being shown in third. Just behind J, that's the 3 of John Gow. Gow working diligently to try to get a fender under J and put J a position back. Behind J on the speedway, that's the 2 of Sean McEwen. McEwen currently being shown 1 lap down in ninth. Then behind McEwen, it's the 8 of Trenton Dickinson. Dickinson also being shown a lap down. He currently sits in the 10th spot. Behind Dickinson on the speedway, that's the 12 of Matt McAfee. McAfee currently running in the 5th position. He is about, hard to say here, maybe 8 or 9 seconds back. Then behind McAfee on the speedway, the next car is the 11 of Jeff Nene. Behind Nene on the speedway, it looks like the 23 of Cameron McCone. McCone currently being shown in the 7th spot. Then behind McCone, that is the light beer car. That's the 7 of Ian Franklin. Franklin currently in 8th spot, last car on the lead lap, and getting ready to have some troubles. Cameron McCone spins and ticks that outside wall. That causes the leader, Stephen Harry, to slow down just a bit. Harry working on the 7 of Ian Franklin will put Ian Franklin a lap down. There are now 6 cars left on the lead lap as Stephen Harry is running a blistering pace. You could just see JiRT McKinney in the yellow car, 2 cars back of Stephen Harry. McKinney really kind of holding steady, keeping the same pace as Stephen Harry, but too far back really to make a whole lot of noise. There'll be 10 to go this time by. Stephen Harry with the lead. Just behind him, it's JiRT McKinney in 2nd, then John Gow 3rd, Danny J 4th, Jeff Nene rounding out the top 5 with Matt McAfee in 6th, the last car on the lead lap. Behind McAfee, 1 lap down, is Ian Franklin in 7th, Sean McEwen in 8th, and Trenton Dickinson 9th. All 3 of those cars 1 lap down. In the 10th spot, it's Cameron McCone 2 laps down, and Vincenzo Saraceno has withdrawn from the race. Saraceno will finish in the 11th spot. 8 laps to go. This time by, there will be 7 laps to go. Stephen Harry with the lead. JiRT McKinney looks like he might be closing just a skosh on the 1 of Stephen Harry. But with 7 laps left, JiRT McKinney's just not going to have the time to run down the 1 of Stephen Harry. Harry rolls through turn 3 out onto the front straightaway. There'll be 6 to go this time by. Stephen Harry running a near flawless race and continuing to hold on to that lead. We see some lap traffic that might come into play, but it doesn't look like it'll be enough to allow JiRT McKinney to close. McKinney currently about 3.2 to 3.3 seconds behind the big Johnson Legends car of Stephen Harry. 5 laps to go. Harry through turn 2, now out onto the back straightaway. Rolls down the banking into turn number 3, allows the car to slip back out toward the outside wall. There'll be 4 to go this time by. Stephen Harry with the lead. McKinney 2nd, Gow 3rd, with Danny J 4th and Jeff Nene rounding out the top 5. Matt McAfee, the last car on the lead lap, is just ahead of Stephen Harry. The 8 of Trenton Dickinson between Harry and the 12 of McAfee. 3 to go now. Stephen Harry with a nice smooth line closing on the lapped car of Trenton Dickinson. Looks like Dickinson bounced off the outside wall. Harry taking no chances. Slows down, tries to avoid. That allows JiRT McKinney to close to about 2.2 seconds behind. 2 laps to go this time by. Stephen Harry having some adventures in traffic. JiRT McKinney is closing and closing fairly quickly, but he's not going to have enough time as Stephen Harry will come out of turn number 3 and onto the front straightaway here. He's going to take the white flag this time by. 1 lap to go for Stephen Harry. Harry leads, McKinney 2nd, John Gow 3rd, Danny J 4th, Jeff Nene 5th, Matt McAfee running 6th. Harry through the center of turn 2, now onto the back straightaway. He'll come into turn number 3. Stephen Harry through the center of turn number 3. He's going to come out onto the front straightaway and take the checkered flag. The win's going to go to Stephen Harry. It looks like JiRT McKinney will come home in the 2nd spot with John Gow 3rd, Danny J 4th, Jeff Nene 5th, Matt McAfee coming home in the 6th spot. Sean McEwen will be 7th, Ian Franklin 8th, Trenton Dickinson 9th, Cameron McCone 10th, and Vincenzo Saraceno will finish up in the 11th spot. Steve and Harry going to celebrate with some donuts at the start-finish line. Harry ran a really nice race to come home with a win. Jared McKinney moved up 5 spots, started 7th, finished up 2nd with John Gow 3rd, Danny J 4th, and Jeff Nene in the 5th spot. Some good racing from Concord Motorsports Park for the Johnson iRacing team on the Johnson iRacing Network. This is Aaron Johnson saying, go fast, turn left, have fun.